Maybe you're watching this video while feeling that familiar weight in your chest. The weight of a heart that seems to be split between two people, two realities, two possible lives. And along with that weight comes the question you can't silence. How is it possible to love two people at the same time? If you're going through this, the first thing I want you to know is this. You are not a bad person. You're not weak, not immoral, not someone who simply can't make up their mind. What you're feeling is deeply human, and far more common than society likes to admit. I know what it's like to wake up in the morning with that tight knot in your stomach, that feeling of betraying not only the people you love, but also yourself. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and not fully recognize the person you've become. To feel like you're living two parallel lives, and that neither of them is completely yours. I know what it's like to carry a secret that burns inside you. To feel like you're hurting people who don't deserve to be hurt, including yourself. To live with the constant sense that you're doing something wrong, and yet be unable to stop, because something inside you is screaming that you need this to survive emotionally. Maybe you've tried ending things with one person and felt like you were losing a vital part of yourself. Or maybe you've tried distancing yourself from the other, only to discover that life turned gray again, colorless, lifeless. And so you ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just choose and be happy? Carl Rogers, one of the most compassionate psychologists to ever live, dedicated his life to understanding these human contradictions without judgment. He knew that behind every behavior we label as wrong, there's a legitimate human need that isn't being met. And maybe, just maybe, what you call loving two people is in truth a desperate attempt to fill emotional voids that have existed inside you for a long time. Today, I want to invite you to look at this situation through Roger's eyes. Not to judge, not to condemn, but to understand. Because when we truly understand what's happening inside us, the path to inner peace becomes clearer. Rogers often said that when we can't be genuine with ourselves, we end up searching in others for what we've lost within us. And maybe that's exactly what's happening to you. Think with me. When you're with the first person, what void do they fill? Maybe they make you feel safe, valued, and honored. Maybe with them, you feel like you can be that version of yourself you've always wanted to be. The reliable partner, the provider, the one who has everything under control. And when you're with the second person, what different need do they fulfill? Maybe they awaken a part of you that's been asleep, make you feel alive, free, and authentic in a way you forgot was possible. The problem isn't feeling these things. The problem is that, at some point in your life, you disconnected from important parts of who you are. And now, instead of seeking those parts within yourself, you're trying to find them in different people. It's as if you are a house with rooms that have been closed off for years. You know those rooms you just stopped using? Maybe because someone told you they were inappropriate, or because you felt the need to be more serious, more responsible, more put together. And instead of opening those doors and inhabiting the whole house again, you're visiting other houses just to feel what it's like to be in those lost rooms. Rogers called this incongruence, when there's a gap between who you truly are and who you allow yourself to be in the world. When you can't be your whole self in one place, it's only natural to seek out other places where you can express the parts that have been suffocated. Maybe in your primary relationship, you always have to be the mature one, the problem solver, the one who doesn't take risks, who is predictable and stable. And with the other person, you finally get to be spontaneous, adventurous, even a bit reckless. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe in your main relationship you feel forced to be someone you're not, and with the other person, you finally feel safe enough to let your guard down and show your vulnerabilities. But here's what Rogers discovered. People are not medicine for inner emptiness. When we use relationships to run away from ourselves, we end up creating even more pain for everyone involved, including ourselves. The person you call your primary relationship probably senses that something's off, even if they can't name it. They may feel that you're distant, that there's an invisible wall between you, that you're never fully present. And the other person? They might only be receiving a fragmented version of who you are, maybe the more exciting version, but not the whole, real you. And you're tired of trying to be different people in different contexts. It's like you're constantly playing two different roles and never allowed to simply exist. Rogers believed that every human being has a fundamental need to be fully accepted, without masks, without performance, without having to hide parts of themselves in order to be loved. He called this unconditional positive regard. But let's simplify it. It's the need to be loved exactly as you are. Now, pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you felt completely accepted? When was the last time you could be all of yourself, with your contradictions, your shadows, your fears, your secret dreams, and still feel loved? If your answer is never, or a long time ago, then maybe we've reached the heart of the matter. Let me share something Rogers discovered after observing thousands of people. When we don't feel fully accepted, we start to fragment ourselves. We begin to show only the acceptable parts and hide the ones we believe are unacceptable or too much. But here's the problem. When you hide parts of yourself in a relationship, those parts don't just disappear. They remain there, like caged animals, begging to be released, to be expressed, to be loved too. And that's where what you're going through begins to make sense. You're not loving two people. You're desperately trying to find someone who can love all of you. And because you don't believe that's possible with just one person, you've split your needs between two. With one person, you show your responsible, reliable side, the one who meets expectations, pays the bills, plans the future, plays it safe. With the other, you show the passionate, spontaneous side, the one who dreams of a different life, who laughs freely, who dares to be vulnerable. But neither of them knows the whole you. And more importantly, you've forgotten what it feels like to be whole. Maybe you learned very early that love is conditional, that you're only loved when you're well-behaved, when you don't cause trouble, when you live up to what others expect of you. So you locked away parts of yourself in a drawer, thinking, if I show this, they'll stop loving me. Rogers said that we can only offer genuine love when we learn to genuinely love ourselves. And we can only genuinely love ourselves when we stop rejecting pieces of who we are. Maybe what you've been calling love for two people is actually your inner self pleading to be seen, accepted, and integrated. The part of you that you hide in your primary relationship isn't something wrong that needs to be eliminated, and the part you only express in the secret relationship isn't something forbidden that needs to be hidden in the dark. They are legitimate parts of who you are. And they deserve to exist in the light, honestly, openly, and whole. But I know what you're afraid of. The same fear Rogers witnessed in thousands of people throughout his career. The fear that if you show your whole self, you'll be wholly rejected. You're afraid that if you show your current partner the part of you that you've been expressing elsewhere, they won't accept it. You're afraid of discovering that the love you receive is conditional, that it depends on you continuing to be just a limited version of yourself. And that's terrifying, because it would mean you were never truly loved for who you are, only for who you managed to pretend to be. And that fear is real. And valid. Because maybe you have tried to be more authentic in the past and you were rejected. Maybe you showed a vulnerability and someone used it against you. Maybe you expressed a dream and someone laughed. Maybe you revealed your spontaneity and were called irresponsible. You learned, maybe very early in life, that love has to be earned by being good, not something you receive simply for existing. You learned that acceptance has a price, and that price is hiding parts of who you are. But Rogers teaches us something revolutionary. A relationship where you can't be yourself isn't a real relationship. It's a performance. And performances, no matter how well executed, are exhausting and unsustainable in the long run. The uncomfortable truth is this. You might need to face the possibility that your current relationship can't hold space for who you truly are. And that's scary. Because if you stop pretending, if you show your other sides, you may find that the person you love can't love the whole you. But you may also discover something surprising. That this person has been waiting for you to be more real, more present, more you. Maybe they're tired too. Tired of the performance, of the distance, of the feeling that you're together but not truly connected. And even if they can't accept the real you, Rogers showed us something liberating. When you stop trying to be loved and start being authentic, you attract people who truly love you, not a polished version of you. The fear of losing false love is what keeps us from finding true love. And maybe it's time to ask yourself, what kind of love do I really want? A love that forces me to hide, or a love that invites me to show up? So what now? How do you get out of this situation without destroying lives, including your own? How do you find peace when your heart feels torn in two and you can't see a way out that doesn't hurt someone? Rogers always began in the same place: compassionate honesty with yourself. Not brutal honesty that wounds you. Not that critical voice that judges you nonstop. But the gentle kind of honesty that sets you free. The honesty that says, I'm going to look at what's happening inside me with curiosity, not with judgment. First, stop punishing yourself for feeling what you feel. What you're going through is a symptom, not a character flaw. It's a sign that important parts of you are asking to be seen, integrated, and loved. It's like when your body feels pain. The pain isn't the problem. It's a signal that something needs attention. Second, start mapping out your real needs. Sit in silence and ask yourself, what does each of these people awaken in me? What part of me does each one see and celebrate? It's not about choosing between them. It's about recognizing that these needs live within you and deserve to be honored in a whole and honest way. Maybe you'll discover that with one person, you feel safe enough to be vulnerable, to show your fears and insecurities. And with the other, you feel free enough to be spontaneous, to laugh, to be wild, to break the rules a little. Those are legitimate needs. The problem isn't having them. The problem is believing you need two separate people to meet them. Third, consider the possibility of honest conversations. I know that's scary, but think about it. Would you rather keep living a divided life, always looking over your shoulder, always carrying this weight? Or would you rather take the risk of being fully seen? That doesn't mean you have to confess everything all at once. It means starting small. Maybe by sharing a dream you've never told anyone. Maybe by revealing an insecurity you've always hidden. Maybe by expressing a need you've always swallowed. And fourth, consider seeking professional help. Not because you're broken or sick, but because you deserve a safe space to explore these parts of yourself without judgment. A place where you can learn how to be whole again, where you can understand how you got here, and how you can move forward in a way that's healthier for everyone involved. Rogers knew that genuine growth takes time. There are no quick fixes for matters of the heart, but there is a path toward authenticity. And every step you take on that path brings you closer to a life where you no longer have to split yourself in two just to be loved. Rogers taught us that true love is not possession, not dependency, not escape. True love is not needing someone else to feel complete. It's the genuine meeting of two whole people who choose to love each other not because they need to fill emptiness, but because they celebrate each other's wholeness. But here's the thing. For that to happen, you first need to become whole yourself. You need to stop searching for lost halves of yourself in other people and begin the journey of becoming whole on your own. This doesn't mean you'll stop feeling what you feel overnight. It means you'll start to see those feelings as messengers, not as absolute truths about what you must do. When you feel that overwhelming passion for someone new, instead of acting impulsively, pause and ask yourself, what part of me is this person awakening? What need are they meeting? How can I awaken that part within myself? How can I honor that need with integrity, without hiding, without lying, without fragmenting my life? And when you feel like you're losing connection with your current partner, instead of running into someone else's arms, ask, what do I need in order to feel seen and accepted here? How can I communicate those needs honestly? Am I willing to risk being rejected for the chance to be truly loved? Maybe you'll discover that you need more spontaneity in your life. So instead of seeking that in someone else, start being more spontaneous. Invite your partner on an adventure. Do something unexpected. Show the side of you that you've been hiding. Maybe you'll realize you need more emotional depth. So start sharing your fears, your dreams, your vulnerabilities. Let yourself be seen in your fragility. Or maybe you'll realize that there truly is a fundamental incompatibility between you and your current partner. And that's okay. Not every relationship will survive your genuine growth. Sometimes being faithful to yourself means making difficult choices. But the difference is, now you'll be making those choices from a place of wholeness, not fragmentation. From a place of self-knowledge, not from a place of escaping yourself. Rogers often said that the bravest thing we can do is to be who we truly are. And maybe that's exactly the kind of courage you need right now. The courage to stop fragmenting yourself. The courage to face difficult conversations. The courage to admit that maybe you lost yourself along the way. And now you're trying to find your way back through other people. The courage to say, I deserve to be loved fully, and I'm willing to do the inner work to make that possible. If you've made it this far, it's because some part of you knows that you deserve more than a divided life. You deserve the peace of mind that comes from living authentically. You deserve relationships where you don't have to hide any part of who you are. The path isn't easy, but it is simple. Come back home to yourself. Learn to live in every room of your own being. Allow yourself to be complex, contradictory, human. And when you do that, when you finally meet yourself fully, you might just realize that the love you were searching for in two different places was always waiting for you inside yourself. If this video touched something in you, if you saw yourself in these words, leave a like and share it with someone who might need to hear this too. And in the comments, tell me, without personal details, if this perspective made sense to you. If you want to continue this journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance through the wisdom of Carl Rogers, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, because you deserve a space where you can explore your humanity without judgment. Remember, you don't need to split yourself to be loved. You just need the courage to be whole.